Okay, so all right, let's get into it. Yeah, so coming into today, really not a lot going on. Two names on my close watch list is going to be SPY and Apple. The reason for the SPY is, I've been saying for the past couple of days now, you can see we've definitely been respecting this level right here, here, and here. Our last key level here on the SPY is 685. This is our last key level before we see all-time highs. So just waiting for a break and retest over that today. We'll see if that sets up. Hopefully so. But I like the reactions here during the pre-market. Qs, really nothing on Qs. Obviously, we want to get above, the 624. But you can see, right, Qs is just chopping around. There's relative strength on SPY compared to the Qs. So really the A plus shot here on Qs just over 629. There's nothing in its way. Clear resistance level three times. Get a break and retest above here. All-time highs is clear shot. Tesla, nothing on Tesla. There's nothing on Tesla, at least for me, right? Nothing on Tesla. And then Nvidia, right? Pretty disappointed. It looked really, really good. We're bullish bias on the daily, but you can see we're just stuck in this channel. We're just stuck in this channel. We're moving higher. It's a lot of built up liquidity. Technically, we're like trending higher, but it's just terrible. Look at that. There's nothing going on. So look like we'll get over it. We never did. So just gonna be patient here. We're in the middle of the channel, middle of the no trade zone. So nothing there. Apple. Apple is the only tech name that I'm looking at today. Right, pullback long, 679. I'm sorry, 279. I want to see if that can hold. Nothing on AMD and nothing on Netflix. So my two close watch here coming into today's session is just SPY and Apple. So we'll see how that goes. We got about 30 seconds here until market opens. 8 seconds. You guys not don't trade that first 2 minute candle. So far, a pretty decent sized pullback here on the Qs. I feel like if Qs can like break and retest over 624.50, then we can see, Apple pretty much try and follow. Oh, volume feels low. Okay, there we go. I think Apple and SPY really just going to see what gives us really the best looking price option here. We have Thursday. Okay. So Apple and Keys pretty much seem to be in sync a little bit. Yeah, definitely so. I'm definitely gonna see what sets up because it's a little bit of relative strength here on Apple. Let's see. So keep in mind, right, the market's just still in this channel, just still in this channel. SPY, right, in this channel. SPY looks good if it really can hold. If we can get above 685, it does look good, right? Just everything is just in a channel. So we're really just waiting for our channel breakouts, to be honest. Everything's just pulling back right now with the Qs. Let's see. You can see there's actually relative strength on SPY compared to the Qs. Look at Qs, and then look at SPY near the high day. Apple's pretty much in sync with Qs a little bit. So right now, my main watch is just the SPY. I mean, we'll see what happens, but we can clearly see the relative strength on SPY compared to Qs, right? Look at that. So that's what I want to see. We'll turn this back into resistance. Yeah, I'm looking at SPY. I mean, obviously it has to hold and break through, but I love the relative strength here. Q's falling and SPY pushing. That's what I want to see. Got a little bit of a lag there. Clearly resistance, right? We did our job. Like they got respected on the dot. It's been flirting with this thing during the pre-market too. I've been looking at the next day expiration calls here on SPY. Next day expiration. 666. It's like 580. Such a strong resistance. I mean, it's a weekly level. So such a strong resistance over here, like just on the dot. Like, but look at Apple, look at Qs, and just look at SPY. SPY actually looks good. Look at the 15-minute here. Look at the trend there. That's exactly what I'm looking for. looks solid. As long as this holds up. We don't have any more red photo news or any news at all. Let's see. Yeah, there's no news going on right now. The thing about, man, Apple is just, I just know that, right, once this thing gets over this, that's a really big pullback here on Apple. Market's very heavy, but I'd even be looking for a long down here at the bottom of the range. The thing is, Apple is a little bit heavier than, I'm not going to force it on Apple, but I'm watching it. Just look at SPY though. Apple's just a little bit heavier than everything else right now. Can't blindly go long here just because Apple's just heavier than Q's as well. I really like that. That looks good. I do like Apple at the bottom of the range, but I got to see some strong buyers step in. I got to see strong buyers step in after we reclaim this 275. Trying to find news on Apple, but I'm not really seeing anything. Antitrust concerns. I don't think that would be something moving it that much, but a long way to go before we were bearish buy from Apple. So all these are just like pullback long opportunities. Just gotta wait and see. We've been stuck in this channel, 279 and 275. So we just got to break out to the other side. Yeah, Apple's stronger to the downside than the overall market, that's for sure. Just sitting in here. Man, like SPY is flirting with that thing, bro. It's like right there, just on the dot, right there. If we don't get it, it's just because Q's is too heavy. Probably just pulling SPY back, but you can see, right? I mean, SPY is actually stronger right now than the Q's. Apple turn this into resistance. So close, so close. This is actually a good thing on Netflix, in my opinion. We got the break. Now we just need the retest off of 95 on the daily. I don't know if we'll get that today, but you can see the relative strength a little bit here. But I'm expecting us to consolidate after a Trinity yesterday. So even though we caught this trade to the downside yesterday, um, another opportunity here, just because we need the break and retest on the daily. So that's just something that's setting up. The previous day low here on Qs. Morning downside type of day. Oh, wait, it's 75. Another thing, I don't know if you guys remember this. It was at the start of this week, and it was like I was like doing this analysis on this, and I was like, I really wouldn't be surprised. I said we won't know until we know. We won't know until we know. Now I can't really say that for the SPY, just because we're so bullish. Like Q's is just heavier. That's just what it is. But history likes to repeat itself, and right, we made all-time highs, and then what did that do? That led to our sell-off here, all the way back down here, and then you can kind of see, right, we're back at the top. We didn't make all-time highs, or a new one, so this is still like unmitigated over here. But still, right? I mean, look at these wicks every time we push up into this level. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. I hope not, right? I mean, the Fed's cut the rates 3 times. Today's probably just a pullback long type of day. It's too early to tell, but I am looking at like a daily double top from my perspective, right? Just sellers, let's see, one, two, three, four, pretty much twice within a trading week. We push up into the 689.70 and just reject, So that I wouldn't be surprised. Q's is like behind. It has some ways to go, but look at our key level here. This 629.05. Not necessarily a daily double top, but we would definitely need to get over this. Definitely need to get over this. We won't know until we know. But like today is a very heavy day. Heavy morning, right? It's still early, but things are pulling back pretty heavy. And Q is like definitely under the previous day low. Like I said, it'd take a while for us to be bearish vibes on this market, like a while, but getting over this, it's like very important. Not only, do we see all-time highs, but like that's like market structure. See what I mean? Because the way I'm looking at this right now is if this stays heavy, it's a lower low forming. We won't know until we know. We're still very bullish on the higher time frame, but this being that heavy, kind of what you didn't want to see. On the bright side, as long as we get out of this channel, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So I am watching the cues though. I'll tell you guys a very long time ago when people are panicking, right? That's where I see opportunity. This market is still very, very bullish. So I would love to get in a trade down here. This is also a weekly level. Can't forget that. It's a weekly level. I would love to get in a trade down here before we get back to the top of the range. I'm not going to force it, but I got to see buyers step up here. This blue level here just means that, if we fall back under here, we're just back in a channel and all of this. Technically speaking, 612 between, yeah, and 595 in between that, it's like all sideways action. There's no channel there. So, we'll have to wait and see. But getting in at the bottom of the range before we get back to the top is very solid. As of now, it's just a falling knife. since SPY has like relative strength compared to the Qs, I guess we'll see what happens, right? Like maybe, Qs approach to 617 and then we can find some support on the overall market. Really won't know until we know. That's where a lot of traders get hurt, like chasing the morning downside and like FOMO kicks in. I just see it all as like pullback opportunities. So Apple actually is holding up because Qs and SPY is pulling back. So, this big pullback that we see here on Apple is really just from the overall market being very heavy. So what I'm seeing here, the reason for us pulling back, is really this. So Oracle disappoints, drags down AI stocks. So this wasn't even full 10 minutes ago. It's like the most current news that I'm seeing right now, based on why. So hopefully we can find some support here. And we'll see. It's just a straight falling knife. So yeah. Rule number one, never chase the morning downside. That is something I've learned a very long time ago. Very, very long time ago. Right, and keep in mind, like all this is healthy. You guys know I've said in the past, it's like when we have days and like weeks like this, look at all these green candles to the upside. No one says a thing. No one says a thing. And then you have one day like this, and it's the end of the world. So I mean, if this thing can go on a crazy rip for 7, 8 days in a row, right? Like it's expected eventually. So out of 13 days prior to today, we've only had two down close candles, and both these candles buyers pretty much stepped up at the last minute. So pretty much just 15 days, right, of just straight upside. This is like a great long opportunity if we can get a little bit of a deeper pullback here. As of now, it's really just a falling knife. So I'm not gonna sit here and try and be cute, but I know what I'm looking for. Like there's no up close green candles. There's none. Maybe if I get one up close candle and then maybe another one, but right now it's just a falling knife. I did this entire market open in the 2 minute. We've only had two up close candles. Yeah, buyers are trying to defend, but it's just too heavy. Like that's exactly what you want to see off a key level. But market's just way too heavy. I'm eyeing it though. That's exactly what you want to see off a key level. I just want this candle to close. Guys, I'm looking at the 619 calls here on Qs. 619. I'm actually willing to give this a shot. I'm long here. Very tight stop. Very tight stop. Next day cons. It's risky, but this is me just planning my trade, trading my plan. Very, very tight stop. I took the 619 calls, next day expiration. You don't got to take this. I'm just looking at this like a pullback long off of 617. It's a great risk to reward. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I know that was like quick, but looks really good. Like I just see this as an opportunity when people are like panicking. If I get stopped out, so be it. Like it's worth the risk for me. Like I'll take the loss. These contracts are already up 10%. Let's see what happens here. Let it scale out a little bit. I know that was quick, guys. I was like very aggressive. I know. I was like very aggressive. This looks good if like you can get if you didn't catch that, like don't stress it. Like that was aggressive. That was very aggressive. But it was like if it makes sense, it was just like since I got in right here, my stop is so tight. My stop is so tight. It's a weekly level. And then I'm looking at spot. I'm taking another trade on spot if this sets up. I don't even know where I made on that. Let me see. Give me one sec. Yeah, 2000 bottom right, but I know that was an aggressive entry. Yeah, definitely left a lot on the table, but that's fine. Like all I have to do is like really just try and zoom out here. See what I mean? Like This is already acting as like a key support level. Man, that looks really, really good. Okay, nice. So, like I just said, right? If Qs can pull back and find support here, we can see that on the market. So, right, like Apple looks really good. If we can get a break and retest on Apple, I would definitely look to play next week contracts on this name. Man, that thing's moving. Wow, crazy on the Qs. I was very conservative on that play just because it was a falling knife. So that's why I really didn't want to, like, I was willing to take that risk. I didn't want to give you guys such a risky trade. I mean, every trade's a risk, but you know what I mean. Man, that thing's running. Definitely left a ton there. I'm still waiting for SPY. Like, SPY's a big one because if SPY, like I said, if SPY gets over 685, this is our last level before all-time highs. That is our last level before all-time highs. Man, look at, damn, that thing is running. Wow. This is why we don't chase the morning downside, right? You see the V-shaped recoveries that occur. Yeah. This market is very bullish, right? We're just looking for pullback longs. So, right, we come into the market, we're very patient, we don't panic. Because if you get like what I'm trying to teach you, right, these are the highest probability shots. Like these are the highest probability shots. We just look for the market to find support. But when I saw this hammer stick candle, I was like, man, I got to give that a shot. This thing ripped through that. I'm looking at SPY though. I'm definitely looking at SPY. Yeah, I sold myself short here, but that was an over 10% trade. I'm more than okay with that. Yeah. Let me see. Give me one sec. Let me go back here. So like this takes time. It takes a little bit of time. Like this is a hard long position, right? Like it's really just trusting your edge and trusting your system. So I hope like this makes sense, right? Like just a big melt and downside. But I know that all right, cool. Let everyone panic, and I'm gonna look for a great shot here. I've taken this trade plenty of times and I've lost plenty of times. But for me, the reason my entry is like so good is because bro, I know I'm wrong very quick, very very quick under here. Like I know I'm wrong. So that's why like I just took my shot. Crazy rip to the upside for sure. I'm watching SPY. This is a big setup if this occurs. Not only is like, right, we're going to break over the high day. It's a great confluence. Man, what a crazy bounce on the Qs. Okay. Looking at Apple, looking at SPY. If I have to pay, I'm really just going with Apple. I'm sorry, with SPY, just because like we can still catch, Apple. But the thing with SPY is this is our last level. Like this is worth the risk to me to take a shot here. It's definitely worth the risk to me. I didn't really like the rejection that I saw here because it is a falling knife. So I have to be a little conservative. No regrets though. It's always easy to say in hindsight you should have held, but this thing's a falling knife. I got to push up into the previous candle. That was beautiful. That trade was like over 10%. So crazy run there. But remember yesterday, right? We talked about when we went short on Netflix. I said, right, the bigger the level, the stronger. This is a weekly level. So I probably wouldn't have been that aggressive on a pullback long off a 4 hour support level. You know what I mean? But right, we zoomed out before we even took that trade. Kind of called that on the dot. So like that was, man, that's probably the biggest trade the market kind of gave this week, but this thing's still running. 5 steps up, guys. I'm definitely looking at it. Apple looks good. We just need displacement and then a retest here. There's no longer a pullback long. We fell at this level, so I got to see buyers take over control again. All right, play Apple. It's got to be next week, cons. It has to be, just because I mean tomorrow's already Friday. Yeah, that was like 100% trade for sure. This thing went from 670 on the dot. Like, look at our key level on the dot, all the way up to 621. That's a $4, almost $3 move. I'm watching the SPY here. It's 7:17. It's still early. Just watching the SPY. Remember, guys, like we're risk managers before traders, so I'm gonna look out for you guys first. That was like one of the main reasons I didn't really want to signal this, just for like a small account. Like this was a risky shot, but I knew what I was looking for. So I was kind of, it happened very quick. But like this is a loss I'm willing to take. I don't want you to take that loss if this doesn't work out. Probably still setting up. We'll see. Yeah. Let's see. What did this? This. Hmm. Definitely could have been a bigger day for sure, but no regrets here. Like this thing is straight downside. I'm seeing sellers kind of step up here. Like, I'm playing next day cons. It's like a lot of factors why I didn't want to give you guys that trade. Right. But like playing a trader plan, like I know what I'm looking for, like on the pullback longs, but I'm happy like we were able to kind of break that, like see that together live, if that makes sense. I know it's a pullback, everyone's panicking, everyone's freaking out, but the market is bullish. We're trending, right? We're still trending to the upside. So never chase the morning downside ever. What I do is like I'm waiting for the market just to find some support. And this takes time. It really does. Right. I never had like this is trusting your system where it's just straight red candles, not a single grain up close candle, but I'm seeing a hammer stick kind of form and I'm taking my shot. Like that definitely takes time. It takes time to like trust yourself, trust your edge, trust your system. Um, so I hope this makes sense. I'm happy we're like able to see this in real time together. So I'm watching SPY. And the reason I'm watching SPY, it's not even me being greedy. It's I just know that this is also right a weekly level. This is also a weekly level. And this is our last level here on the SPY before we get to all-time highs. Like even though, Q's bounce, look at Q's. Like we still have some ways to go, right? To get to all-time highs. Like we still got some ways to go. But look at SPY. It's right there. Hammer stick candle is right there. There's nothing in its way. We're gonna hold our water here, right? You can see Apple's trying to like reclaim this and buyers are trying to hold. Need a little bit more displacement here. But see what we're seeing, right? Q's found support and then everything else did too. Now we're starting to see a bounce. One sec. 674. All right, guys, I know I signaled this one. So in the trade callouts, I'm looking at SPY, right? We can get a breakout over the 685.80. I'm looking at next day contracts. I just need more displacement, but I want to see here. It's probably going to be at the money cons for me. It's worth the risk for me, right? It's a weekly level. Of course, I'm gonna scale down since I've already had a winning trade, but it's worth the risk for me. There's no correlation between trades. So guys, I'll be looking at I know it changes. So 686 calls, but I still need more displacement here. I want to be patient because who knows, right? Qs can push into that daily double top and kind of reject. So let's just be patient. You can see Apple is reclaiming 625. I'm sorry, 275. Not enough displacement here on SPY. 686. And I just did the typed in like the profit target here on TradeZilla. If I would have just sat like in this candle, that was like a $7,000 day. No regrets though. Like you can't trade with regrets. That is a very aggressive entry, and it's a falling knife. I'm seeing resistance here. Like I held, as soon as we got here, but once I saw it start to reject, it's just like was not messing with that. Okay, guys, so nice. Now we just wait for the retest here on SPY. It's worth the risk for me. Like I said, I'm looking at the money cons. Next day expiration. So that's 686. Waiting for a retest, some type of pullback here. Apple looks good. Man, what a man. Not too surprised I found support just because it's a weekly level, but man. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys, right? Like your job as I hope it makes sense when I say this. Your job as a trader is not to be right or wrong, right? You see me enter this trade and I said, like, I don't care because my risk is so tight. I know exactly like it's just a candle closure under 617. You know what I mean? So I hope that makes sense. Your job is to just take your setups every time they occur, but you got to trust your system. So you see what I'm trying to look at here? Just need like a deeper pullback here. I need to see strong buyers show their hands. I just don't want Qs to push back into right this high day and then 624.50 and then reject. Because if we do that, then we can kind of see that on the spot. We're gonna hold our water here, being very patient. There's a weekly level, so I'm just waiting for like the pullback here. Right, guys, but like this is trading, right? Like we pivot coming into today, right? Qs weren't even on our close watch list. It was SPY and it was Apple because during the pre-market, these were the two key names that looked the best for obvious reasons, right? I mean, we were sitting above, we're sitting at our 685.80 here on the SPY. So we're just looking for a break and retest over that. And then we know as soon as we reclaim, I'm sorry, 279 here on Apple, there's nothing in its way to all-time highs, right? The market has a morning downside, quote unquote pullback. I hate to say sell off because terminology matters. It obviously wasn't a sell off. So I'm looking at the overall market. Q's is the one that's leading everything. So if Q's can find support, right, we can find support across the board. That's exactly what happened here. So like just pivoting, right? And our job is to react and not predict. So I'm just gonna be patient here on the SPY. This looks really good. Um, like I'm willing to take this shot. Like I said, I'm just being cautious here of the Q's because we can clearly see Q's can really just do this, right? This is a resistance level for a reason. It really could just do that, and we see that across the board. It really can. So I'm trying to like read that with everything else. Apple's a slow mover, but you can see it's starting to reclaim this. See what I mean? So yeah, we know, right? We know Q's is leading everything. Q's is the one that's calling the shots right now. So it's just hard to go long on the SPY if Q's is pushing to this high day because we could just see an intraday double top rejection, and then right, we're going long on the SPY as Q's is pushing back into a daily resistance level. If we pull back the better. See, I don't like that. See the correlation? I don't like that. Yeah, this tech names are trash right now. I don't know why the heck this just did that. Clearly, clearly my TOS is tripping right now. So it'd be very different if I saw like divergence on SPY. The bigger the displacement, the better. So if this gives us like another pop, sure. You can see SPY and Qs are in sync. So context matters. So what I'm trying to like explain is the reason, right? I'm not necessarily taking a long shot right now is because I already know why I lost this trade if I lose it. It's just because Q's pushing into the high day rejection and pushing into a daily resistance. Lesson here on Apple. This is why we wait for displacement before the retest. Remember, the number one most important entry criteria to the break and retest is displacement to the upside, to the downside. You know, I hate a lot of people say, when you're trading to the downside, you can be more aggressive. That's terrible advice. Treat it the exact same way as you would go long. Wait for displacement before the retest. I mean, Qs and SPY is pretty much identical right now. It's pretty much identical. Hope this is making sense, right? The SPY and the Qs. You're not gonna FOMO into anything. And then keep in mind, guys, like even though this was a trade that I took, there's nothing going on like across the board still. Like there's really nothing going on in the markets. Or like SPY, if we keep projecting this, like technically, right, we're still in this channel. It's hard to go long here when I'm seeing an intraday double top and then like a push into the high day here on the Qs. We clearly see Qs are in control, right? There's no doubt about that. NVIDIA, right? Nothing going on in NVIDIA. It's in a channel. AMD in a channel. Tesla stuck in a channel. Apple, right? Bottom of the range. Not much going on Apple. Netflix, this is setting up. And maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday, but I'm looking for a pop and fade off at 95. But right, we're not going to FOMO, but there's nothing going on all around. The only two names that actually looked promising at open was SPY and Apple. That was it. See this hammer stick candle on the Qs? Look at this on the SPY. So these two names are in sync. Mm. I feel like if Qs can get over this high day and like over this 624 is free game. If we sit in between these two key levels for the rest of the day, I really wouldn't be surprised. Just because, give me one sec. Let me just round that to 624. So, on average, SPY and Qs move about what, $3 to $4 in a day, 3 to 5. Today it's already moved pretty much 7 here on the Qs. So that's a big day if for the Qs, right? That's a big day if we move more than that. See here. The big part is Spy actually looks really, really good. Good breakout displacement, little bull flag off of this. Just trying to hold and defend this level. It actually looks really, really good. But we know, like, as of today, Q's is the one calling the shots. See what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, just see how when Q's gives us a pop, Spy gets a pop. When Q's pull back, Spy pulls back. So, I mean, these two names are identical. Right? Look at the V-shaped recovery here on the Q's. It was just because it found support at 617. But around the same time, we had a V-shaped recovery here on Spy. What was it, 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock. So they're identical twins right now. Remember, like these, I just see these as like setups that's like developing. It may not happen today, may happen tomorrow, right? Just that break and retest over 685.80 here on the SPY. The Apple's just kind of basing of a clean shot yesterday. I had to be understanding. Well, that's so good. Yeah, big rejection here really for the Qs. The Qs moved a lot today. That's a big dollar amount. I really wouldn't be surprised for the rest of the day. We just sit in between 624 and 617. I really wouldn't be. Like, we're still back in that. Let's see. I think that might do it, Noah. I don't really think there's anything else on the day. Pretty much just one and done with that. Just just slow conditions right now, bro. Slow conditions. Really coming into tomorrow. I'm gonna sit here till 8:30 though, but coming into tomorrow, it's really Spy here that I'm watching on the 685. That's like a big one. There's nothing on the tech names. I mean, if Apple can get back over 279 for sure, but there's just really nothing on the tech names right now. Yeah, definitely patience, brother. But I'm gonna definitely call it here. definitely call it here.